In today's video, guys, we're going to talk about the top 10 best minis in Warcraft Rumble. But without further ado, we do have tons of awesome minis in the game. We have good ones, bad ones, and average ones. Now, the reason why it's important for you guys to know which minis are the best is because you do not want to waste your resources in purchasing the wrong minis from here. So today, guys, I want to give you my top 10, okay? And this will be based on my own opinion, my own experience. Keep in mind, some of the minis might get rebalanced in the future, buffed, nerfed, so things can potentially change. Now, I want to start with my most favorite mini in the entire game, and that's the Quillboar, guys. It costs you 2 gold to deploy this character. He's a tank, an unbound unit, which allows you to place this character anywhere on the map. Now, he is a bit slow at getting the damage up and running once you're basically putting the character on the map, but once he's done with that, he's actually going to perform really, really well. Now, what I do like about him is that once you're unlocking the skills and you are able to get the Bramble Burst, which in my opinion is the best for him, you're going to inflict poison on nearby enemies. Poison is very, very strong in the game, and you're going to distract everybody that's getting hit by this, which gives you massive, massive control over the enemy minis, guys. So, an amazing, amazing thing. And yes, he's a one-target unit, melee. He's not going to absolutely demolish everyone, but he will tank for you, and it will allow your other troops to really take control of the situation, you know. And I'm a massive, massive fan of this unit. The next mini on my list is going to be the Harpies. Now, this will basically spawn in a bunch, 3 Harpies, and it costs you 3 gold to deploy them. They're actually extremely effective at taking down tanks. So they are pretty vulnerable at AoE attacks. They are pretty vulnerable as well at range units that might eye the flying units, you know. So keep that in mind. They move very, very fast, so you do need to offer them quite a bit of protection in order to ensure that they're not completely getting demolished. But they are able to take enemies down very, very quick. Now, once you are unlocking the skills for this mini, guys, you do have quite a few different options. Currently, mine is only an uncommon, right? So I'm not able to get the different ones. You can get poison on them, which is very, very powerful. I do think that might be one of the best options. The trinket collectors, it will allow them to collect gold and open the chests for you, which I do think that is pretty, pretty awesome. A lot of the time, you're placing air units and you're just leaving so much gold behind. That can be very helpful in some situations, but I feel like overall the infectious swipes is better. This again is a squad, it is a flying unit, and it is single target damage. The next unit is the Safe Pilot. Now, this again is another unbound unit. It costs you 3 gold to deploy, and once you are deploying this character, you're going to deal AoE damage on the area that you're covering when you're deploying it, and after that, it will slowly fire from a cannon. Now, it will take her quite a bit of time to fire that cannon. The good thing is that once you are getting the skills, you're going to be able to get the Gnomish Cloaking device, which will make her stealth. I do think that this is the best for her. So once you have this on, you're going to deal the AoE damage once you're deploying the character. And then you're going to be stealth till you're actually firing onto a target. So that gives you a chance to at least put in a good shot. You can take down waves of chickens and other things like this, you know, that can be annoying if no while they're attacking your guard tower or anything like that, and very effective to kill enemy troops as well with AoE damage when you're deploying it. An awesome, awesome character, you know, and being unbound is just such an amazing, amazing thing. Like, it gives you so much control on how you are planning to play the game. The next unit that we have on the list, guys, is going to be the Griffin Rider. It costs you 2 gold to deploy, is a flying unit, and yes, it can definitely deal a lot of damage and allow you to fly cheap, basically. This is a low-cost airline, guys, okay? Think about it like this. So, once you are unlocking the skills, you're going to be able to get a Mighty Throw, which gains you 3 range. Now, this is just such an impactful skill because range is everything on flying units. A lot of the times you're using flying units and they need to get so close to the target that by the time they even get to use their skill to deal damage, they're dead, you know? So having extra range is actually going to be massive. Now, this is a one-target flying unit. Pretty good stats. Pretty fast as well, medium to fast, so that's very helpful. Again, keep in mind you do need to offer a good support to them as well to ensure that they're not the first units to die. having a tank that is going a bit slower, make sure you're kind of like timing it right to ensure that you will allow them to shine, basically. And they're very, very effective at taking all sort of enemies down, you know. The next one on my list, guys, is the Dark Spear Troll. It costs you 3 gold to deploy this single target unit. It's extremely, extremely good at taking down flying units. And what I do like about it, that once you are basically getting the skill, you're going to be able to regenerate 20% health every second. Now, it might not sound a lot, but if you are sending a Dark Spear Troll versus a Guard Tower or something like this, a lot of the times, he will slowly be able to pick down all of the hit points on it and kill it. You know, of course, with a bit of help, but he will be able to stay alive, which is very, very important. As long as he's not overwhelmed by the enemy troops. He does have pretty decent stats, not a bad HP. The damage is pretty crazy, right? And speed-wise, medium, but 9 range. 9 range is a very, very good range. Now, since we are talking about range units, guys, the Murloc Tidehunters are definitely making my top 10. So this is a 2 gold cost unit, and yes, they're basically 2 of them spawning, taking down flying units extremely, extremely fast and very efficient. Now, once you are unlocking the skill on them, and I think you need a rare or the epic skill for it, I'm not 100% sure which one, but this gives you 2 range. But once you are unlocking the safety bubble, that's when they're really going to be even better, because it's basically a bubble that will block the first attack on them, which will keep them alive regardless on what the other enemy mini is hitting them, you know. So that's actually a very, very solid thing. They do move pretty fast, and they do hit pretty damn good as well. So they have good damage. The health is not great on them. They are 2 of them, so they can easily be killed, but they will help you to protect your tank or other ground troops from the air units, and that is a massive, massive thing. Like, I find them so freaking helpful whenever I have a Drake coming towards my ground units or stuff like this. So them being able to move pretty fast is actually very helpful to catch up with your tanks as well. And this right here is the cheapest, best unit in the entire game, guys. The Defias Bandits, costing you only 1 gold to deploy. You're basically deploying 2 little bandits that are going in stealth mode, and they will stun the enemy. So regardless of whatever enemy is coming your way, as long as it's a ground unit, you're going to be able to stun the enemy for a little while. And that really opens up a window that will either enable you to quickly deploy other troops, either quickly attack the enemy with other troops to take them down quick, you know, or protect other troops, you know. So it's actually a very, very strong unit. The main thing as well is that once you are unlocking the skill, you can gain poison. Now, again, poison is really, really strong, so that can be very helpful. You do have different options in here as well, like you can earn extra gold when you're opening chests, or on that stuns the target for 3 seconds. That's a nice thing too. You can constantly stun the enemies, but I feel like poison overall will give you quite a bit of a better value. Now, in some cases, this extra stun can be very, very helpful. Now, do keep in mind, they are an easy prey to flying units, right? Because they do have the stealth incorporated, you don't need to actually put a tank in front of them. You can actually play around with them to protect tanks and give you that opening that you need in order to advance, you know. And they are moving pretty fast. The next one on the list is the Wargen, guys. It costs you 3 gold to deploy it, and honestly, I do think that is a fair price. An unbound unit that deals a lot of damage. He has stealth, so this is just such a good unit to use in your deck. You know, you can easily deal with specific targets that might annoy some of your flying units, or they might annoy some of your tanks. You know, you can quickly deploy the Wargen and start killing the target, or deploy it directly onto the boss or to the enemy base. You know, it's definitely a pretty awesome one. You do have different skills in here. Now, at the moment, on deploy grants 1 gold if no allies are nearby. Sounds like a pretty awesome one. Frenzy, Premeditation, they're both really good. The ambush damage can be pretty nice, especially if you're targeting a specific troop with it, you know. So he does have pretty nice skills right there. Now, he is a melee unit, single target, right? So once you deploy this unit, it will deal quite a bit of damage, but it won't have the craziest survivability. So if you have no other units around him, he will get in trouble pretty fast. The next mini and the most expensive one that we are mentioning in today's video, guys, is going to be the Huntress. Now, she is an absolute beast. Great AoE damage, range damage, dealing with ground and air units at the same time, which is definitely very helpful. Now, when we are talking about the skills, guys, she has quite a few different ones. Now, I personally have the Elven Might at the moment. This deals 50% additional damage to the initial target. It's not a bad one. Gaining stealth and ambush is definitely much better in my opinion. So I think this is the better skill to pick on her once you're going to unlock it. And looking forward to get to that one as well. Very good AoE damage, good range, good speed. I like that you can easily deal with the Harpies or different flying units that are coming in groups, you know. Definitely very effective against them. And just in general, is such an amazing unit. And yes, five gold cost for this unit, I think is a decent price. You know, definitely worth it. We cannot have a top 10 without the Dark Iron Miner, guys. Such an amazing unit that you can basically deploy unbound at any gold mines whenever you guys want to. And not only that, but he actually deals a pretty good amount of damage as well. So he loves getting you gold, and it's very good to have control over the gold, especially in PvP. Now, in terms of skills, right here you have the Dark Iron armaments. After mining, gains armored. You have the gold mine, drop a proximity mine, damaging nearby enemies when touched, or gaining fury. All of them are pretty nice. Fury can be actually a bit better, I would say, just because it will increase a bit your overall performance, you know. He is a one-target melee. Unbound is massive, guys, how I mentioned. Unbound units are definitely some of the best in the game. And the stats are not bad. You have good HP. Now, you're not going to have the craziest damage. You're not going to have the craziest speed or anything like that. But if you want to take control over the gold mines and you want to ensure that the enemy doesn't, the Dark Iron Miner is definitely the right mini. And just to end our top 10, guys, we do need to bring in a spell as well. Now, we have quite a few different spells in the game. We have quite a few different ones that are pretty effective. I do think, in my opinion, that the best is the Blizzard. Now, it is pretty costly. Some of them cost you 2 gold only, you know. I feel like if you are using this spell right, it gives you such a massive control over the enemy troops. And regardless if we're talking about PvP or PvE, how many times you are going in a PvE match and you're just being overwhelmed by troops because they're either at your own level, either higher level, and you just find it really hard to kill them. Having the control with the Blizzard and using it at the right time is massive. Now, when we are talking about skills, guys, getting Cold Snap is actually massive because it freezes the enemy troops in place, allowing you to accumulate more gold and deploy more units by the time those enemies will get to move from there, if you're not killing them all, of course. So I do think that this is an amazing spell. Personally, I don't use a lot of spells. I don't do a lot of PvP just yet because I'm still in the process of leveling up quite a few units. I've only been playing the game for like 3 weeks or so. But this is so far my top 10 best minis in Warcraft Rumble. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you agree, if you disagree, please let me know why as well. And much love, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.